Now, former Prime Minister Tony Blair has called on the government to distinguish between those who have received the vaccine and those who haven't. He said it makes no sense at all to treat them the same and that relaxing measures for those who've had both jabs will provide a powerful incentive. So should the double-jabbed, as they're calling them, be able to travel abroad, go to vaccine-only restaurants, while people who are not vaccinated, not through their own fault, many of them, and some can't be because of underlying health conditions, is it fair to make that distinction?
Well, make no mistake, I loved my 2 jabs. I was so excited when I had my second one, and you had your second one yesterday.
We've all had our seconds. I think we're all double-jabbed.
All well-vaxxed now. Look, I've been vaccinated since I was born, I think. We got the 3-in-1 or whatever it was called, BCGs when you were a teenager, against all sorts of things. If you want to travel to Africa and other countries, you have to have the vaccination if you want to go to that country. And from my point of view, I don't really know how Tony Blair is making the difference between a vaccine freedom thing or just a vaccine passport. But I don't think it'll work because it'll be a them and us, like 2 societies. And I don't see that restaurants will say, oh, no, you can't come in because you're not vaccinated. You haven't got your freedom pass.
No, but if a restaurant...
Because they need to make the money.
Because the hospitality industry obviously has been absolutely hammered through this and places closing down. If they thought they could fill a restaurant, Janet, with people who are doubly vaccinated...
I can see the logic of dividing restaurants into zones where if you've had 2 jabs, you know, people can sit closer together. And I can see it from the point of view of theatre owners. They're desperate to fill theatres. And, you know, Andrew Lloyd Webber has been saying every single day that, you know, the theatre industry and all the jobs and the tourists that involves need people to be able to sit close together, which is, you know, something you can only do if you've been double jabbed. But I think that Tony Blair said something else, which is it's not ultimately going to be up to the UK about this because all the EU countries are working together to come up with a vaccine passport or vaccine paperwork that will mean you can travel between all the EU countries more freely. And so Britons are desperate to go on holiday. And, you know, Europe's one of our biggest holiday destinations. And look at the chaos that's happening over Portugal at the moment. I think, yes, it is discriminatory in some level, but we can't avoid the fact that it's going to happen anyway.
Yes, but I think that's freedom of choice, though, isn't it? You know, if you choose that you don't want the vaccination, which means you might not be allowed to go abroad or go on holiday, then that's your choice. But I don't think you can take people's freedom of choice away at all. I don't think that's fair.
But I want to just ask Coleen, though, if they choose not to have a vaccine and they can't go to a pub or restaurant as a result, do you think that's fair?
No, I don't.
Well, it's their choice.
It's their choice, I guess. But I also don't think that they should be banned from going because they haven't had a double vaccine. I think they should have to stick to guidelines and maybe, you know, it might be a case of anyone that's double vaccinated can all sit inside and the ones that aren't have to do what they do now, which is sit outside.
I think Janet's idea is good. I mean, you said to divide a restaurant or something, but I believe that the restaurants and cafes, they're desperate to make money. And I can't see they're going to say to people at the door, sorry, you haven't got your passport, you can't come in. But your idea of having it divided so that you might have a vaccine end if it was big enough and a non-vaccinated end, I think that's not a bad idea.
But what about people that haven't been who do want the vaccine and haven't been vaccinated?
Well, they say, I mean, actually, you know, look at the younger age group, like Jack's age group, they haven't got the vaccine, and you know, and it's ironic, isn't it? It's like all us oldies. Yeah. We're allowed to go out. We'll be allowed to go out.
In Wales, for example, they're leading the way. It was on the news last night that everybody under 18 will be vaccinated.
Well, they're calling as of today can get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Within the 20s.
But I do think for people who can't have it, not choose not to, but can't have a vaccination for some reason or another, it is harsh on them. But there again, you can't lock up the majority of people who have been doubly vaccinated
but in the end,
sake of a minority of people who can't.
My goodness, the mental health of this country is suffering. People are going through hell because they can't go out and socialise. We've got rules that change every week about where you go on holiday, how many groups can come inside, outside. I've lost the plot on the group
I think a lot of people are doing their own thing anyway.
Yes,
I do think
you know,
so.
You see big groups of people, no masks. I think people are... I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying I think people are taking
We're going to have to live with all the variations.
their own risk assessment, really, aren't they?
Just give me the passport.